Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Porter Says podcast. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to this episode today or this evening or whenever you're watching it. So you get another episode this week. One went up yesterday, so I hope you've been enjoying that one about the Stranger Things season 5 trailer. But in tonight's episode, I'm not a reality show. What I'm on about. I'm going to be reviewing the latest MCU movie, Fantastic Four First Steps. The Fantastic Four First Steps. Saw it last night at a advanced screening, so a day before it came out in Australia. And I think it's pretty much out everywhere. I'm going to go through a lot of the pros that I have, the cons that I have, and obviously give an overall thoughts on the film, obviously, and. So I hope you're ready. I guess I'll give it a score out of... you can give it a score out of 10 or I can go out of 5. I'm personally going to go with 5, like the 5-star rating, like out of 5-star rating for me. Oh, camera decided to move to get a better angle. Thank you very much. Right, so out of 5, I would give this 4.5 stars. The film was great. I had a lot of fun watching it. It was a bit of a packed audience last night, which was really good. Everybody was respectful and everybody applauded at the end, which I did not really expect. It was mainly after like the mid-credit scene. I didn't stay for the end credit scene, so I don't really know what it is. To my knowledge, it's a bit more comedic from what I've heard. So there will be a bit of a spoiler warning once I decide to talk about the end credit scene. I'll make sure I mark that somehow in this one, but we'll go through the cons first because I kind of want to get those out of the way because, again, the movie is great overall. These are just some personal issues I found with it. So yeah, cons first. The second half of the film is still pretty fun, but it feels a little bit too rushed. And a lot of the pacing is a bit like, whoa, we're here already? Not like a giant problem or anything. I think the first half is structured better. A lot of the CGI... There are people saying that the CGI in this movie does look pretty great, but for me, in my opinion, a lot of it looked a bit kind of a bit sloppy. Especially, now this has been shown in the trailers, so I hope I don't spoil this, but just in case, spoiler alert. Obviously, Sue Storm is pregnant with a baby, and the baby's born, obviously, in space. Where else? Whoever would have thought you'd seen a birth in space? But there are times where they're using a real baby, and then other times where they're using CGI, and I'm just like, why on earth did you need to do that? Unless the baby, like the actual baby, maybe wasn't able to be on set or something, or was acting up, like that's understandable, but the CGI on it was just really took me out of the movie quite a few times, and it was hard to watch, especially at the end. I did find Galactus a little bit lacking. Like the actor who voiced him did a great job, like really, really good job. But I don't know, I didn't find him as threatening as other people did, personally. I just found him to be, another MCU villain. Like, he had a bit of a presence, especially that shot, which is also in the trailer, where he steps through the city, and you're just like, whoa. Like, he does have a bit of a presence, but personally, I didn't find him as threatening as people are finding him. Let's see. There's some, like, kind of, like, typical MCU humor that doesn't really land for me and doesn't work that well, but it's not all. Like, a lot of the humor is pretty good, but a lot of it's a bit just kind of like typical MCU humor, I guess. And the main costumes are fine. Like, they look fine, I guess. Like, they're okay, but there are some shots where I'm just like, that looks like a pajama top, like pajama bottoms. Like, what are you doing? Come on. Like, better than some of the other suits that we've gotten in the previous Fantastic Four movies, but still not quite what I would like. And look, they do look comic accurate, but still, they kind of look like wool sweaters, in my opinion. And that's it for the cons. And the Silver Surfer, actually, I liked the performance from the actress. I thought she was very good, and she had a bit of an interesting backstory. But again, I didn't feel very threatened. And there we go. Those are the cons. But now we're getting to the pros of this movie, and there's a few. The cons really, they're not massive or anything. They don't like weigh the movie down completely. They're just issues I found, you know. But start with the pros. Sorry if I'm reading. I feel the need to read off my phone. I'm not quite that. I'm not that good at reviewing stuff. Like, I always have to read notes and write stuff down and kind of just go off that. But the main four performances are really great. Everybody did such a good job. Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn was probably my favorite performance in the entire film. He nailed Johnny Storm. He was so good in this role. Like, he was, as much as I like Chris Evans and Michael B. Jordan and all that, Joseph Quinn really brought it in this one. And for the life of me, I don't think I could pronounce the actor who plays Ben Grimm or slash the Thing very well, so I'm not even going to attempt. I'll try and put it on the screen, or you can just look up the cast. But he was great. I loved the CG. He was one of the few CGI moments that looked really good. He looked great. They really did a good job with the Thing. And whenever Johnny is on fire, like even when he's not full flamed, he looks very, very good. Like, there's some decent CGI in this movie. A lot of the stuff looks very, very solid. I do think Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, there are times where the stretchiness looks a bit but for the most part, I thought it was all right. And I really like the effects they use on whenever Invisible Girl, Sue Storm, is using her powers, especially in the finale. They captured the family dynamic so well, really, really good. They since they are Marvel's first family, I think that is very much always been a thing. They are Marvel's first true family. They did that so well. They legit feel like a real life family you would come across and want to be a part of. Honestly, I want to be a part of this family. And the 60s vibe it had going on was really cool, and I liked the house, the big building they live in. I really liked the design and everything. I want to live there so badly. It looks so cool. Herbie, I believe, is the little robot. I think it's Herbie. Kind of runs around and kind of helps them out. He's pretty cool. He was a bit of a highlight of the film. And let me see. The first half of this film, I kind of hinted at it, but it is, I don't really want to say because it's a bit of a pun, it is pretty fantastic. I really think the first half is structured so well. It kind of, at the beginning I was thinking, ooh, this feels a little bit rushed, but they managed to streamline it and structure it very well. And as I was watching the first half, I was like, yeah, this movie's awesome. It was going to be, could have been 5 stars potentially, but the second half really did kind of not let it down, but it just wasn't as enjoyable as the first half, if you know what I mean. You might feel different, but that's just me personally. I really liked a lot of the action sequences. We didn't get too many in this one, but what we did get was really well directed. Michael Giacchino, I believe how you pronounce his name, his score was so good. He did such a banger job, and I have to say, and people might agree with me because I don't know how many of you guys are a fan of the MCU Spider-Man's theme, because it was the same composer. I'd say it's better than the MCU Spider-Man's main theme. And I really like that theme a lot. But this one, I feel like fit the Fantastic Four a little bit more and fit it very well. So, to give my overall thoughts on the Fantastic Four First Steps, it was great. I said that at the beginning, but I kind of want to reiterate again. It's worth seeing. It's really fun. The main performances are great. The action sequences we get are a lot of fun. The 60s vibe's great. The characters are just awesome, really. They're written well. You care for everybody. It's really funny in a lot of parts of it. So, the mid-credit scene is pretty wild. So, we have, I think it's about 4 or 5 years later, and Sue Storm is reading to her son. And she goes and gets another book because he wants to read this other favorite book of his. And all of a sudden, she hears something. She hears a bit of a noise, and she walks around the corner, ready to, with her powers. And you see Franklin sitting on the couch. You're like, what the hell? And you see the shot of Doctor Doom. And it's like, wait, what? What's he doing? You see the green hoodie and his hand, and then it ends like that, and it says, the Fantastic Four will return in Avengers Doomsday. But yeah, holy crap, that mid-credit scene. I don't know what the end one was. I didn't even bother. I just wanted to get out of there and get home. So, yeah, I really think this is easily the best MCU movie that we've gotten this year. And it's by far the best Fantastic Four film we have ever gotten. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this new episode, and hope you enjoyed my review of the Fantastic Four First Steps. So, I want you to consider... Well, no, don't. Let me rephrase that. I hope you consider sharing, subscribing, and check out all my links down below. And I will see you guys in the next episode of the Porter Says podcast. Have a good week, or rest of your week.